Hello and welcome back to Beef Gravy Studios. I hope you enjoyed the first video, even though I made it sound totally darker than I meant for it to come off, but it was my first try. So hopefully it'll get better as the videos go on. Welcome to the studio. We are about as low budget can get, and somehow we're still going to create some content just because. So today I'm going to cover something that is very near and dear to me, and that is this little guy, Sly Cooper, Mr. Sly Cooper himself. Most everybody knows who he is if you're of a certain age like I am. You remember the videos, or the video games. They were actually all very good. Sly came out in 2002, high 80s. Everybody really liked it. Made 21 million, and it was incredibly cheap to make for Sony because it was cell shading. Whereas in contrast to games that don't use cell shading, they just cost more money. Sly 2 came out in number 4, also high 80s on the ratings. Did very well. Sly 3 came out in 2005. Now these were all for the PS2. Sly 3, in my personal opinion, was probably the weakest in the series. I liked the game, but I didn't think it was the best by any stretch. In Sly 3, you bounce through playing about 5 different characters. In the first one, it was mostly Sly, and he was fun to play, and you'd have the occasional side mission with Bentley the Turtle, who's the brains of the bunch, or Murray the Hippo, and they were driving sections. When Sly 2 rolled around, they actually expanded on this, and then Murray became, I believe, in the third game, he became like the punching sections, where Sly was stealth and Murray was hacking, getting into computers and gadgets and stuff like that. Murray became the heavy later on in the series. All were done by Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch would go on to do Infamous, and obviously those games sold very well for the PS4. Excellent games. I take that back. That was PS3. Anyway, they did the Sly collection in November 2010. Sanzaru, I believe that's how you say it. That's probably wrong. Took over from Sucker Punch. Sony owns the character, obviously, so they just made the Sly collection. They did it for the PS3 and the Vita. Again, fairly well received. And then Sly 4 was done by Sanzaru in 2013. Again, PS3 and Vita. Actually, I thought it was an excellent game, but it was the lowest rated of all the games, where most of the Sly games got either very high 80s or up in the 80s. The Sly 4, Thieves in Time, where you go through time and play as a different Sly Cooper ancestor, it got about mid-70s. It just wasn't as well received. Still overly positive, though. I thought it was an excellent game. I thought they did great. The side stories of Sly, the comic, came out in 2004 and in 2005, and while the first comic took place in between Sly 1 and Sly 2, which I thought was a great idea, and then the second comic took place in between games 2 and 3. Again, well done. Sony teamed up with DC Comics, well received. So, Ratchet and Clank the movie, switching gears, comes out. Sony begins talking about a Sly movie. It was announced 2016. The developer left the studio in 2017, and basically now no one's heard anything. The idea was the Sly TV series, which they were working on, was going to come out, and it was going to come out first, and then the movie would come out. But as of they were talking about it being released mid 2019. Obviously, we're here, and after they put up the dates for the releases of the movie and the TV, they were taken down real quickly. But May 2019, PlayStation announced the film and TV show we're still back on with no dates and be done by PlayStation Productions. That's basically the last we've heard of that. I think it's a great idea. I think he's a great character, very entertaining. Sly's personality basically comes off as the cool thief, almost furry version of Ocean's 11, if you want to come up with some movie reference for that. Sly would then reappear on PlayStation Move Heroes, which I didn't play. I had no interest. It was basically just a way for them to sell the PlayStation Move. He teamed up with Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter. Me personally, it doesn't count. I don't care. PlayStation All-Stars was released in 2012, which I did play, and Sly obviously was one of the characters. Excellent game. It was not the Smash Brothers killer. You know, it's when anything comes out, it's kind of like this, so it's gonna take over and, you know, establish a franchise like Super Smash Brothers. You're not gonna knock that thing off anytime soon. So it's been 6 years since an individual Sly title, or Sly and his gang having the title. They've done the remaster, and here's why I think it's time for a new game. As I said, first, cell shading. Cheap to make. Big studios, they like cheap to make. Second, the games were not all that difficult, making them very accessible to many people, many age groups, and the difficulty doesn't shut anyone out. Not everybody's going to beat a stealth game. Not everyone can do it. I can tell you right now, the games are not difficult. And I think that could be an appeal because we live in a day and age where we have one group that wants games to either be incredibly hard, and it's a sign of you know, how tough and smart you are to overcome that, Dark Souls and the like. And then you have games where I just want to sit back and relax and play, and Sly definitely falls in that category. It has the moments where it gets a little harder, but it does not get hard at any stretch. It's a very forgiving game. I think that would help it sell well too. Now, the aforementioned TV and movie, what better excuse to make a new Sly game? You got a movie coming out, you got a TV showing out, cross-promote it, have it all come out at once, reintroduce the character to everybody. So that is my take on, I think we need a new Sly game. All the games have sold well. Sony owns the license. They can make a new Sly game whenever they want. Their lowest rated game still did well. They already have done the remaster, so why not make a new one? And my thoughts would be Sly's girlfriend in the game, Carmella, who chases him for a lot of the games, but obviously they get together because that's just, you know, storytelling. I think they could have Sly play the role of the older mentor and you know, pass it on to his kid. If they don't want to do that, just make another adventure of the gang all getting back together like they did with all the sequels. But I think it's time. It's been 6 years since an individual Sly Cooper title, and I think there's more than enough money to be made there. So Sony hasn't said anything about releasing a new title, but it wouldn't surprise me if the TV show takes off, if it gets made. Again, you never know. If the movie gets made, if you never know. And I think they should look to Ratchet and Clank, which as a movie I enjoyed very much. I thought it was a great kids movie. I think the Sly Cooper movie could do just fine as well. I think he's a great character that you can build the franchise around. They've already built it. And in reality, obviously, I'm holding this, and I bought this not too long ago. So Sly merchandise still tells, but the funny story is my child, Little Beef, I picked this thing up, and I said, "Oh, Sly Cooper," and Little Beef looked at me, and he goes, "Well, who's that?" And I went, because I realized there's a whole generation that's new to them. There's a whole generation that doesn't realize he's a really good character. He's a lot of fun to play through. Games are dang near for everybody. Very inoffensive. I know that tends to be a lot of concerns, especially of parents nowadays, as if it's appropriate for kids. This is about as harmless is going to get. So, anyway, if you just showed up to the channel, my welcome to Gravy Bowl. I didn't mean to come off as dark as I did, but I'm going to leave it up anyway, just cause. And I'm going to bring you some more content, more talking about what's on my mind in my makeshift studio on a budget. I appreciate you coming in and taking a look at what I got. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe, leave a like, or tell me what you didn't like, because I'm brand new to this, and I look forward to seeing more of all of you. Anyway, thank you very much. God bless. Have a good day.